Is Afghanistan the good war? The right war? The one we should have been fighting all along? These are some of the questions I would like to consider in this series of discussions. What I hope to accomplish in these videos is only to offer a coherent analysis of President Obama's strategy, his new strategy for Afghanistan and Pakistan as presented in his speech of March 27, 2009. In the interest of transparency, my purpose is only to deconstruct the fine rhetoric of our very articulate president so that we normal people can better understand what he intends our involvement to be in that very turbulent part of the world.
So let me be clear. Al-Qaeda and its allies, the terrorists who planned and supported the 9/11 attacks, are in Pakistan and Afghanistan. Multiple intelligence estimates have warned that Al-Qaeda is actively planning attacks on the United States homeland from its safe haven in Pakistan. And if the Afghan government falls to the Taliban or allows Al-Qaeda to go unchallenged, that country will again be a base for terrorists who want to kill as many of our people as they possibly can.
In offering the American people and the world his agenda for change, his new strategy for Afghanistan and Pakistan, President Obama reminds us that Al-Qaeda and its allies, the terrorists who planned and supported the 9/11 attacks, continue to be active in both nations. Using rhetoric reminiscent of the Bush administration, he warns us that Al-Qaeda still seeks to kill as many of our people as possible and is actively planning further attacks on the U.S. homeland from its safe haven in Pakistan. The reason, therefore, that our men and women still fight and die there is to ensure our national security, the safety of the American people. President Obama makes clear that where his predecessor went wrong was not in his recognition of the reality and seriousness of the threat, the greatest threat to the American people posed by Al-Qaeda, but in becoming sidetracked by the war in Iraq and by being overly cautious, too conservative, in not aggressively pursuing what he terms the enemy that heeds no borders into Pakistan. Obama's new strategy is intended to rectify the previous administration's missteps in foreign policy by implementing an aggressive, comprehensive, and multifaceted strategy that escalates our civilian and military effort in both Afghanistan and Pakistan.
So I want the American people to understand that we have a clear and focused goal: to disrupt, dismantle, and defeat Al-Qaeda in Pakistan and Afghanistan, and to prevent their return to either country in the future.
President Obama has recognized and identified the threat, perhaps even an existential threat to America and to our national security. To meet this threat, he makes clear to the American public that we have a focused goal: to disrupt, dismantle, and defeat Al-Qaeda in Pakistan and Afghanistan. Now, this mission is complex and, upon analysis, has a number of implied aspects, several of which are troublesome. While it has been no secret that covert military operations have been going on in Pakistan and elsewhere for several years, Obama's new strategy acknowledges and accepts, without discussion or debate, that we are as much at war in Pakistan as we are in Afghanistan, maybe more so. While this war will allegedly be conducted primarily with the use of drone aircraft, and though Obama has stated that the sovereignty of Pakistan will be respected, he has been clear that border incursions and special operation force insertions will not be ruled out should we need to act swiftly and aggressively upon actionable intelligence. Now, General Petraeus agrees and maintains that the United States has the right of last resort to neutralize threats in Pakistan. Now, one of the changes that many of us had hoped would be forthcoming in an Obama administration would be a return to the rule of law and adherence to the Constitution that requires that war be declared not by executive decree, but by a vote of Congress. Another difficulty with this strategy is that since terrorist organizations such as Al-Qaeda lack formal structure and function as loosely affiliated groups and individuals who have diverse grievances with a common enemy, it is not at all clear what mission accomplished would look like. Beyond that, even should we determine some criteria for proclaiming victory, that Al-Qaeda has been defeated and disrupted, there is no guarantee in Obama's new strategy that all our troops will be withdrawn from the region. Obama mentions that it is integral to our mission not only to rid Afghanistan and Pakistan of Al-Qaeda, but to ensure that it be prevented from returning to either country in the future. This requires, therefore, three important additional goals beyond defeating and disrupting Al-Qaeda.
I've already ordered the deployment of 17,000 troops that had been requested by General McKiernan for many months. These soldiers and Marines will take the fight to the Taliban in the south and the east and give us a greater capacity to partner with Afghan security forces and to go after insurgents along the border. This is just one part of a comprehensive strategy to prevent Afghanistan from becoming the Al-Qaeda safe haven that it was before 9/11. To succeed, we and our friends and allies must reverse the Taliban's gains and promote a more capable and accountable Afghan government.
To ensure that Al-Qaeda be prevented from returning to either country in the future entails the defeat of the Taliban, whose leadership Obama is certain would provide sanctuary and support for Al-Qaeda terrorists should they regain power. Obama is clear, therefore, that the Taliban must be met with force and they must be defeated, and has noted that it will be the mission of the 17,000 troops already ordered to deploy to Afghanistan to take the fight to the Taliban in the south and the east and go after the insurgents along the border. Here Obama is clearly establishing an additional combat mission for our troops, and one intended primarily to destroy the Taliban, not Al-Qaeda. Secondly, Obama believes that preventing Al-Qaeda from returning to Afghanistan and Pakistan in the future requires that their governments achieve the stability necessary to prevent a slide back into chaos. Now, this entails an elimination of corruption and, in Obama's view, the establishment of an effective and honest Western-style democratic government which serves its people and supports the basic rights of all Afghans, including women and girls. Obama's strategy in the region, therefore, now entails a requirement for nation building. Consequently, our mission will also necessitate that we defeat the stridently independent and very conservative Pashtun tribesmen, the dominant ethnic community in the region, totaling some 40 million people in Pakistan and Afghanistan, who will fiercely resist the imposition of a Western-style democracy. So here we have it, the military component of Obama's administration strategy for Afghanistan and Pakistan, a strategy that requires, first, the disruption and dismantling of Al-Qaeda in Pakistan and Afghanistan, second, the defeat of the Taliban, third, the creation of an honest Western-style democratic government that respects the civil rights of all its citizens, and finally, the suppression of the inevitable insurgency waged by the Pashtuns. Upon analysis, this is a mission, then, whose purpose and goals are not as focused as Obama would have us believe. In reality, this is a truly bold and challenging mission, especially with an economy bordering on collapse and a military depleted and in disarray from fighting a multi-front campaign for more than 7 years. In the next segment, I will discuss the civilian component of President Obama's strategy for achieving an end to the occupation of Afghanistan and to the war in Pakistan.